civil breakdown. This is something that many of you concern yourself with, and rightfully so. We all have to understand that there is an issue currently ongoing right now that President-elect Donald Trump vowed to fix it. And I'm talking about the border crisis.
On day one, I will launch the largest deportation program in American history to get the criminals out.
Now, a lot of people may disagree with what I'm about to tell you, but the fact remains that we do have an immigration issue. However, the main issue that I see is, well, let's just put it like this. If you know that you're going to be sent back and they're going to take you away from the family that you created here, and you may have children that were born here, what do you do? What do you really do? Trust me, a desperate person would do incredible things. So you should definitely expect urban riots. You should expect tensions rising. There's also the element of, well, let's just put it like this. The criminal element is heavy when it comes to illegal immigration. What I'm saying by that is, when you have people with no rights, and that is questionable, but people who come here illegally tend to not call the authorities or don't report anything. Well, the illegal element will take advantage of that, and I'm just gonna come out and say it. The rape that it happens is outrageous. The human trafficking that it happens on illegals is incredible. And don't get me started with the children. So here's the thing. Yes, a lot of people will see this as you breaking families. Yes, a lot of people will see it as this is unjust. But for those people who are suffering right now, being made to do things that they don't want to, perhaps it will be a savings. Now, with that being said, let's say the riots do break out due to this immigration policy of deporting illegals. You should expect a death toll of 1 to 10 million in an span of 1 to 3 years due to riots, starvation, forced displacement, and diseases outbreak. Now, before you start chewing me up, hear me out. And of course, I will provide you prep solutions. Urban riots and shootings will begin in cities. Cities will become a war zone. What happens? Protests will escalate into riots, looting, and armed gangs will take over the neighborhoods. Police forces will become overwhelmed and abandon their city or their post entirely. A simple historical example is in 1992 LA riots resulted in 63 deaths and over 1 billion in damage. Modern unrest will be worse. What can you do? Well, you need to reinforce your entry points, install cameras, and set layers of security. I leave that up to you. Stockpile defense tool. Train with firearms and non-lethal tools for personal protection. Build a defense network within your neighborhood. What I'm saying is work with Trust Neighborhood to monitor and defend your area. Again, I leave that up to you. Now, so I mentioned starvation, and let's talk about that. If you have riots going on, if you have looting going on, if you have gangs taking over, do you think the shelves are going to remain full? No, the shelves are going to be empty, and people more dependent now, especially in urban areas, they depend on the chain supply, and the chain supply will not be there because it just cannot come in because there's no protection. I mean, the police abandoned their posts. They got overwhelmed. And they have to protect themselves. So what do you think is going to happen? There will be no food. So starvation is not out of the question. Now, you may say, well, Billy, can that happen? Well, let's put it like this. And let me give you a good example. Ukrainians from 1932 to 1933, well, famine killed about 3.5 million. And American cities lack backup food systems, making them even more vulnerable. What can you do? Well, as I mentioned before in other videos, start growing your own food. Whatever you can grow, it will help. Store essentials. Store canned food, grains, freeze-dried meals, whatever you can get your hands on. I will start saying this from now on. Whatever you can get your hands on. Secure water supplies, store water, install raining catchment system, and invest in water filtration systems. It is key. It is key not to drink dirty water. Dirty water contains, well, let me just put it like this. It will make a bad situation even worse. Now, deportation will likely start in big cities, in those sanctuary cities, and those places that, well, let's just say that have become a beacon for them to go in. But what will happen if they start going there and they start deporting people? Well, all of those illegal immigrants will flood the countryside, and you're gonna have a migrant surge from urban to the rural areas, causing conflicts over resources. You have to understand the cities, the majority of cities get more supplies than, well, the rural areas. The rural areas get whatever they can get their hands on. A very good example is during the Syrian war, over 12 million people got displaced and caused approximately 230,000 civilian deaths. The U.S. could face far greater losses due to larger urban population. And what can you do? Well, if you see the cities on fire and you see everything going on in the city, I hope that you have a escape plan. I hope that you know to avoid major roads and congestions and, places that violence will become more predominant. I don't like talking about bug out vehicles, but in some cases you will need it and you will need to go elsewhere. Do you have a secondary location? It's location that you can bring your family and or your loved ones and weather out the situation that is happening in the city. If you don't, start thinking about it. The last one that I want to talk about is diseases outbreak. When you start bringing people into a location and you start putting people together in close proximity, because that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to grab the illegal immigrants and put it in a camp. And from there, you're going to be sending in, or they're going to be doing that, sending them to different countries. But what happens when they are in that camp? Well, refugee camps and crowded shelters become breeding grounds for diseases. And one recent historical event is what happened in 2010 in Haiti. There was a cholera outbreak and over 10,000 people, well, did not make it. Cities in the U.S. can see way higher numbers. What can you do? Well, stockpile soap, disinfectant, bleach, personal hygienes, medical kits. Build a comprehensive first aid kit with antibiotics. Get them now when they are available. Listen, I will include in here water filtration system. It is key to have clean water. Key to have clean water. Water is life. For far too long, America has ignored the immigration issue that we have. Political divisions have made things almost impossible. Politicians have ignored that cities are a very fragile system, and the more people you put in, well, that fragile system can collapse even faster. History has shown us that without proper immigration, a collapse is soon to follow. Hopefully this never happens, but if there is a chance for civil breakdown, this may be it. The border crisis and immigration may be the catalyst for that. That being said, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Like I was rock on, prep on, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye, everybody.